You know the drill, right? It's that time of year. You sit down, you write out your goals, lose the weight, launch that business, maybe finally learn a new language. You get that incredible surge of motivation. But then, well, a few weeks later, it all just kind of fizzles out. And what do? We blame ourselves, our lack of discipline, our willpower. It's this exhausting, really frustrating cycle.
And hey, if this sounds like you are so not alone. I mean, look at this number. Research shows that a staggering 92% of New Year's resolutions fail. That's not just a small error. That is a total systemic breakdown.
So let's just reframe this for a second. What if the failure isn't some personal flaw? What if the entire way we think about goal setting in the West is built on a really shaky foundation? Okay, we're going to dive into this because there's actually an ancient solution to this very, very modern problem.
So, first up, why do your goals fail? Well, the core issue really lies in our obsession with outcomes. We are taught from day one to focus on the finish line, but we completely ignore the kind of runner we need to become to even get there in the first place. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of the psychology of failure. When you tie your entire sense of self-worth to some future outcome you can't really control, you create this constant, nagging anxiety of ambition. You're trying to power through everything on willpower alone. But here's the thing. Willpower is a battery. It runs out. So the second life throws you a curveball, that willpower just evaporates and the whole system collapses. It's just an incredibly fragile way to live.
But ancient Confucian philosophy offers this radical alternative. It suggests we stop obsessing over the external prize and start focusing on our internal character. So the key, the big shift, is this. Stop trying to be successful and start trying to become the type of person for whom success is just an inevitable byproduct of who they are.
And that brings us right to the core of this whole explainer, the identity-based solution. It's a fundamental shift in how you think about change. You're moving from the outside in to the inside out.
And this comparison just lays it out so brilliantly. The old way always starts with what you want to get. But the new way, it starts with who you want to be. So instead of saying, I want to lose 20 pounds, you start by saying, I am a healthy person. See the difference? Your actions are no longer fueled by some temporary motivation that comes and goes. No, they become a literal expression of who you are. So missing a workout doesn't just feel like a minor setback anymore. It feels like a betrayal of your own identity. The stakes are completely, totally different.
Now, the ancient concept for this is called day. It's pronounced duh. And a great way to think of it is like your character's magnetic force, or even better, your internal operating system, right? If your OS has a bug, every single program you try to run, every goal you set is just going to crash. Cultivating day is all about debugging that internal code.
So how does this actually work in practice? Well, the process is a simple but really powerful reversal of how we normally think. You start with be. Who do you want to be? I am the type of person who values health. Then you move to do. What are the actions that person takes? Because I am this person, I do my daily workout. And finally, the get. That outcome you wanted all along, it just becomes an inevitable side effect of your identity. It's not the primary target you're struggling for anymore. Okay, so this sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you build this internal operating system, this D?
Well, Confucianism breaks Tao down into what it calls 4 seeds, which are basically the core pillars for building your character. First up, you've got Ren, or humanity. You grow this by practicing deep, genuine listening, like really hearing people. Then there's E, or justice, which is all about designing fair, transparent systems in your life and work. Third is Li, proper conduct. You strengthen this by developing intentional routines, these focus rituals. And finally, G, or wisdom. This is the practice of looking at your failures objectively, taking your ego completely out of the equation. By nurturing these 4, you build a truly resilient character.
And the crucial point here is that building character isn't about some massive heroic effort. It's about what's called the unbroken thread. It is all about the small, consistent actions that reinforce your identity, day in and day out. It's consistency over intensity, always.
And to stay on track, you can use a super simple daily audit. Just ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, did I do my minimum action today? The tiny thing. Number 2, did I choose integrity over just what was comfortable? And number 3, did I try to understand others or just get them to understand me? And look, this isn't about feeling guilty. It's just a simple system diagnosis to keep your internal OS running smoothly.
So what happens when you focus on building your character this way? Well, something pretty amazing starts to happen. You kickstart this powerful, self-reinforcing cycle. A person with high D, a really strong, consistent character, they just project this energy of reliability. People trust you. They want to work with you. Your reputation starts to do the heavy lifting for you, and opportunities start showing up with way less friction.
And right here, you can see the entire loop in action. You cultivate your character through those small, consistent acts. That strong character then projects a natural confidence, which attracts success with way less struggle. And then, and this is the magic part, that success validates and reinforces the very identity you started with. It becomes this powerful engine for growth that just runs on its own. No willpower required.
So forget about the massive, overwhelming goals for just a moment. The real work is so much smaller and it is so much more powerful. The question isn't what you're going to achieve this year, it's this. What is the one single vote you will cast for your new identity today?
Like and subscribe for timeless wisdom.